Guys, it's summer, and I I just have to show you the first few blooms of summer because we all get very excited about that. But I want to also show you what's happening with the gardens and fruit and vegetables. And this is the fig tree that Sylvia gave me, and look, two baby figs. I've never grown a fig before, and we'll see what else is going to happen. It looks like maybe there could be more, but that's wonderful. The other thing is, if you can buy on sale right now anything, we found this clematis, and this is Ramona. You never know when it's $5 on a clearance aisle if it's really Ramona or not, but that's what the tag said. And look how it looks with the PG hydrangea. I'm so excited. I'm threw that in there to see if it would bloom. We thought it was dead. And look at this. We've got a bloom here, a bloom there, and I think it's going to be so pretty against the tree and then with the flower boxes, which are doing great. But let's head on down. The birds are finding the blueberries, and I didn't know this, but Midge jumps inside and she knocks the blueberries off. Who, and she Midge? Eats them. Midge does.
You mean this cat right here?
Yeah, so who knew the cats like the blueberries too? But let's go on down here, Reg, and let's just see what's blooming. I just want to show you the few blooms that are happening, and I want to also let you know that our weather's been fantastic. We've had lots of rain, and I can see the lift from our Japanese maple since we trimmed it and it's been hydrated. Can you see how all of these limbs look lifted? They are no longer laying down looking tired and weary. The other thing, I had someone ask me about their daylilies were like, all their leaves were getting very yellow, kind of like this. Well, when you have 4 weeks of no rain, they will turn yellow. So you just go in and just clean them off. And we'll talk about the daylilies in a minute, but let's look at the vegetable garden while we're here. We still have a few blooms on Sarah Elizabeth. The roses are through blooming with their first flush. And if you have roses like I do that will repeat bloom, clean them back and then throw a little fertilizer on them so they'll be ready for their second flush. But in my garden, I don't know what type of squash this is going to be, but I'm letting it grow on the corner here by my wonderful Swiss chard, which we keep harvesting. But Aunt Molly's ground cherries are showing signs of their, where did I see that? Oh, right in here. You can see, I don't know, Reg, if you can get in there, but see these little husks forming? The tomatoes will be in there. I started these from seeds, thanks to Anne, and supposedly those little husks will turn brown. There's a larger one on the plant behind it. And the fruit's very sweet. So we'll see how that works. The tomatoes are doing fair. That is Aunt Molly's slicer. I'll put the name, maybe I have it in my pocket. I have notes, guys. Amish gold slicer, supposedly great for eating tomatoes. And I love when Verbena bonariensis shows up unexpectedly in the garden. These came up out of seeds, my cosmos, love them. The garlic will be harvested in July. That winter cold frost really got to them, I tell you. But anyhow, some things that are blooming that are gorgeous are the yarrows. That beautiful pink yarrow is fantastic. This is a new plant to my border too, this rose campion, which I love because Princess Kate is starting to bloom. One of my newest clematis. And what I love about Princess Kate is the backside of her, and Reg can get her a different view. I'll bend her down. She has this beautiful pink color. And when this is her first year, so just imagine in next year it'll be just full of beautiful little sweet blooms and shows up great from the deck. And then the daylilies are starting to come out. This is etched eyes. This will bloom profusely. You can see all of the scapes, all of the buds yet to come out. I love it. I have so many varieties of daylilies, which I love because of the fact that every day it's a new bloom of something new. And this is my Lythrum, which out in Indianapolis, this is actually invasive. My sister lives in Indianapolis, so you can't grow this, but it's not invasive here. You can see Verbena bonariensis popping up in here, which I love, that purple. Larkspur has popped up throughout the garden from the winter sown. Over here, this is just opening up. This is Warmest Regards, and it's early yet here. Is it 9 o'clock yet? But we've had shade and a little rain. Warmest Regards, so pretty with that chartreuse center. I love to cut my daylilies and put them in the garden. But we'll come across here and you can see again the larkspur. I love how it's showing up. And I noticed my white echinacea starting to pop up today. Loving that look. Excuse me. But I am going to be, when I want to get back there, that is a ditch lily back here, Reg. And I'm going to tag it this morning because I love my ditch lilies on the riverbank, but I don't want them in the garden. So I'm going to tie this string around these two. They can be a little more invasive than what I want in my garden. I have, this is Rouge Blush, which is a tall daylily, blooms a little later in the summer back here. At first I thought that's what it was, but it's not. So I'm going to take this out, put it on the river. But you can see in front of you, well, this rose is doing great. That's my knockout rose. It's a double pink, loving it, just blooms profusely. The daylilies back in here that I love, this is Primal Scream, and it just shows up against this black fence. Right there is, shoot, I'll think of its name. I love the names of all of them. I love the names of these plants because they remind me of their grower. Oh, this is Better Rum. And Judy, who owned the daylily farm. Judy Bean. She passed away, unfortunately. But I have several of her own. She hybridized a couple, and they're not in bloom yet. But to go to her house and walk through her beautiful gardens of, she had over 500 varieties.
Oh, who knows?
It was just beautiful fields on their farm.
Yeah.
To have some of that, it's always a good memory to have your memories of your gardeners that have shared their flowers with you. That is Spidey Man and Bergen's Bandy. She gave me the start of that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. My little zinnias, Lily puts are doing great. And then Heaven All Day. It is just beautiful. It has a blushy pink, yellow. Oh, it's one of my favorites, particularly against the larkspur, which I hope it reseeds itself. That was my purpose. These new little plants have just been planted. There's a whole video on that, why and where. But I was telling Reggie this morning, something that's happened that I've not had happen. When you buy plants small, it takes them at least 3 to 4 years to get to the point that you can see them. And that's what my Limelight hydrangeas have done this year. Finally, I can see them. And this view here is so pretty when you come around, Reg, in front of the grasses. I also think getting those grasses braided up and tightened up have allowed them to really be seen better. I will do that forever. But you can see this beautiful view of the limelights. You see the salvia. This is Snow Hill salvia in front of it. And then you look down to that rose. I think that's such a pretty view. And of course, the Monarda doesn't look bad either. This is just the red bee balm or Monarda. Loving it with that beautiful larkspur. I hope it does reseed. All of that is making me happy. As we go towards the shade garden, a couple years ago, I put in this little, this is called Bubbly. And, you know, they need more sun than not. But Bubbly just shows up. It would probably be more prolific in the sun, but it doesn't have to be for me. If I can see 1 or 2 little blooms pop their heads up in the shade area, it makes me happy. And I would recommend that everyone try sunny things in shade garden and shade things in sunny gardens and see how they do. A lot of times it's just a water thing, or if it doesn't work, you're out nothing except trying it. The shade garden is looking beautiful. I love how lush it looks with all this rain. We're also having cooler temperatures. Yeah, I have done some transitioning, and that video probably hasn't been up yet, but I have added a lot of color, taken out the hostas. This
that really looks good.
Yeah, this border is going to change dramatically throughout the season. I know once you start making change is a lot of fun. And I know I need to move some of those ostrich ferns, and I'll give them away to people who want them. But I love seeing that color, not only in the garden, but from the deck. It's so visible, isn't it, Reg?
Sure is. Yeah.
And then you can't beat, you know, the shade garden. The ferns are looking beautiful.
And here's some of my favorites over here.
These are still bees?
Yeah.
Look at this. We found this one. This is unique cerise. Unbelievable. I'm going to look.
What color?
I know. It is absolutely beautiful and very prolific. We found her on a plant haul last year. And you can see Verbena bonariensis back there up in
just popping up.
Just popping up. I love when things just pop up. You have a little bit of a buttercup back there. But the white shows up. We also have the large, beautiful hosta is elegans. And I may take out a few more of my ostrich ferns to give it a little more presence. Maybe, maybe not. But the blooms, I do love the blooms on elegans back there. Those leaves have to be at least 8 inches across.
Well, more than that.
Or more than that.
Yeah, they're huge.
And those have been there for quite a while. Plus,
you know, the fun part too is you look at them, you can see, well, we can't see.
What can you see?
How the water pools up.
Oh, the water pools up inside of it.
The leaf, yeah.
I know. It's kind of like my new hosta, which I haven't checked on it in a while. It's supposed to hold the water too. So this is all looking very colorful for a shade garden. You cannot beat your hostas, your variegated grasses, your heucheras. They're dynamic. And then the pot's doing great. You know, it's just a fun time. I come out every morning looking to see what's happening because you can feel the energy just radiating out of the garden of the summer blooms that are ready to happen. I'm going to take some time today and pick a small bouquet to take to a friend today. Because what do you get a person who is, I don't remember if she's 99 or going to be 100. And she's in great mental health, just physically a little challenged, as we all may be at 99. So my big project of the day is to figure out what I can pick to put in a small bouquet to take to her.
I think you got a lot to pick from.
Maybe. Yeah, I probably do. So anyhow, that is our first walk through the garden for summer, and you'll see more. This is just, I was so excited this morning. I thought, let's do what's happening right now. And so we did. So thanks for watching Gardening on the West Fork, and we will see you in the next one. Hit that bell so you can see the next video too. Bye, guys.